July 28th podcast on the Bloody Screen podcast. Yeah, today, but we have Nicky G. Nicky
Hello.
to the G, sir. You know, the good news is we shouldn't
What's
be
that?
talking about World of Warcraft at all today.
Yep.
We must keep talking about it for whatever reason. We're talking about it right now. You know what I was doing last night? I was on YouTube watching the trailers.
Was cinematics?
Oh yeah, like Blizzard, motherfucker, can they make some good looking cinematics?
Oh hell yeah!
And some of them I didn't want the end. The Wrath of, when he just like wakes up a dragon, gets an army somehow. Original trailer, because I remember seeing that way back in the day, but I really liked the original trailer of all the different classes fighting each. I don't know. I always thought that was kind of cool. And I kind of wish they would extend it.
Footage for like, if you've ever seen the Mountain Dew commercials,
No.
they had two people in the store, had different types of Mountain Dew. One was for the Lions, one was for Horde, and they turn it to the different.
No, yeah.
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, I've been up for at least probably going on 14 hours. My eyes aren't bleeding just yet, so I guess that qualifies as fine.
I have to ask now, what the fuck were you doing all that?
Well, it's one of those things where, I mean, my sleep schedule's been pretty messed up for here, so it's kind of like, it's one thing, if I knew I went to sleep, then I'd wake up all grumpy and be like, I wouldn't have had enough time to sleep, so screw it, I'm just gonna stay up.
We should just start lying to people next time you do that. Just be like, I've been up all night working on the site. I was editing videos. It really make people think like we're really putting sweat and tears into this.
Brent has me chained to the radiator.
Not leave until you edit. Which, oddly enough, I found out with those videos, just you keep them at 15 minutes, then they don't really get audio messed up. It's really weird how the audio and video start losing the synchronization towards that 20-minute mark. It's weird. I don't understand it, but whatever. That's not my deal. Anyways, we had one movie week, and a movie I've been kind of too broke to go see. I don't know, did you end up seeing The Wolverine?
No, I'll probably be seeing it here within a couple of days, or the coming week at least.
I'm going to be in the same boat where I'm going to see it within the coming week, but real quick before we get started, do you like Wolverine Origins?
I thought it was a fun film, but, as a, fan, I thought, they did fuck a lot of things up. But it was alright,
I kind of backed down what I liked, because when I saw Wolverine Origins, the first time I actually liked it. I was like, oh, that was a good film. I really liked it, yes, quite. And now I go back and I don't know when the hell last time I saw it was, but I watched it again and all I was thinking is, that was the worst piece of crap I've ever seen. Like, that was worse than X-Men 3. Like, I really did not like it. And I was just amazed. I don't know.
Definitely. And just the way they fuck up characters. Some of the lines are just, and the story just, it falls apart, really. It's not something that you could really just
what really kind of bugs me, Nick? Is they don't, they're all made by Fox. Every Wolverine movie and all the X-Men, they're all made by Fox. They don't have any continuity between some of them. Like, especially with Origins, one of the things that bugged the living shit out of me in Origins was, oh yeah, Sabretooth and Wolverine are brothers. I accept that. They never mentioned that in any other film. They never, he's just, in the first X-Men movie, Sabretooth. It's just Sabretooth, he's just that mutant that has powers of a Sabretooth. And also, he doesn't die in X-Men. The first one. I was just like, you guys just kind of write him. Because I know he gets shot with a laser beam and falls 30 feet, but if he has the regenerating power, then he's okay. Unless he exploded.
Those guys didn't really even talk to Wolverine really about anything. I don't expect him to go into some kind of speech, but for Christ's sakes, I would have wanted some kind of reference at least.
He could have solved that whole dilemma I was having with one word. Brother. That's it. He could, in the first X-Men, if they would have had him say brother, or in the Origins just had Sabretooth lose his memory as well, you guys could have just fixed that whole mess. But they didn't. And I don't know, I've been more in the camp of the First Class and Days of Future Past camp than I have been with the, oh yeah, Wolverine, woo! I don't know. I'm a big fan of the X-Men and not the X-Man. Wow. The top 5 is it's kind of sad in a little bit. And also, I don't know. Let's get into the top 5, Nikki G. Alright, number 5 is, without a doubt, the movie we've been bitching about the last 2 weeks. Grown Ups 2. It's still going. I don't know how. Pacific Rim has gone down to number 7, which is really sad. Red 2 is down to number 6. R.I.P.D. is already down to number 9. The Heat that came out 3 weeks before R.I.P.D. is ahead of this. I'm so amazed.
And it's just the power of Adam Sandler, man.
Yeah, Adam Sandler with his Grown Ups 2. Maybe it's because it's the only comedy that's out right now. I mean, that's like the only explanation I can. They also trailered the fucking shit out of this too. I have to admit, because they trailered a lot, Red 2 and Pacific Rim, but they're the living hell out of Grown Ups. I still see Grown Ups 2 trailers. I'm like,
same here.
You made too much money for what you did. $102 million. That's too much for that movie that took maybe an afternoon to write.
Yeah. Oh, you mean having a deer get scared and pee on Adam Sandler in his bedroom? And that wasn't just the most amazing writing you've ever seen?
Besides the fact there's so many things wrong with how that works. And I love what they're trying to do. Whoa, he's a big city guy and he goes into the suburbs. Whoa! There's no real whoa that goes on there. And I'm still the only one that's concerned what happened to Rob Schneider. I'm like, where was he? Do they address it in the film? People who have seen Grown Ups 2, please let me know. Please, is Rob Schneider dead in the movie? Do they, have a letter saying, sorry, I couldn't make it, guys?
No, that's going to be the next movie. He's actually being held hostage, and they're all going to be like the spoof of the Expendables.
The Expendables is the spoof of the Expendables. I'm sorry, when I keep hearing shit about the Expendables 3 and the whole time I'm thinking, if you guys make your cast any bigger, then it's just going to turn into a cameo movie. Where, okay, here's a little bit of, here's a little bit of Sylvester Stallone, here's a little bit of Jason Statham, here's a little bit of Chuck Norris, here's a little bit of Arnold, you can't have that many people in a movie. Eventually you're going to get too many people. I hate to say it. That's number 5. I don't really know what we can add to Grown Ups 2 except for me and Nikki G here. Clearly not the biggest Grown Ups fan, or let's put it, Adam Sandler fan. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm looking over at they have a Domino's ad right on the top 5, and it's making me kind of hungry looking at their cheesy stuffed bread and all that. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh god, that looks so good. All I've eaten was a pot pie today. One of those, 80-cent chicken pot pies. Oh man, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Domino's is overpriced for what they are, but I really do like them. I don't know why.
Great. In 5 minutes, I'm just gonna be sitting here alone. Brandon, you there?
In the middle of this, you're like, hold on, guys. You're gonna hear me ordering pizza. Yeah, guys. Can I get 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas and maybe some of that stuffed cheesy bread that looks so delicious? Actually, their sandwiches are good too. God damn it. Alright, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I'm hungry and pizza sounds amazing right now. Number 4, Turbo, the snail who is really fast. That sounds like another movie that someone wrote in the afternoon. I'm not gonna lie. They're like, we're gonna need an idea for a kid's movie. How about a talking snail? Well, it has to be more than that. But he races on a car track because he's really fast now. See, no snails are fast, get it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's kids' movies, they're kicking ass and taking names.
They really are. I mean, let's talk about the guy. Speaking of it, I mean, Turbo really hasn't done shit so far. It's already number 4 and only made $55.8 million. Grown Ups 2 has done better Turbo. So, I mean, $55.8 million, still good money, but it's not that great. And, I think it's still doing way better than R.I.P.D. With a whopping $24.4 million. Yeah, that movie's shit. I haven't seen it. I kind of wish I did, just so I can talk about, it makes sense why that movie's down. It must be garbage, dude. That's all I can say. Number 3, which is, I think it even beat Iron Man 3. I really think it did, because it's up to $306 million. Despicable Me 2 is number 3. And all I can say is, motherfucker, they're destroying it. It's been in the top 5 for 4 weeks and it's only number 3. I mean, Jesus Christ. I hope they just went up to Steve Carell, gave him 18 sacks full of gold, and said, here you go. Don't worry, we're gonna make 8 times this much back. Cause they are kicking ass. You and me never seen the Despicables. Me, have we? Yeah, I think Nick's the other one that's actually seen the first one. And all I can say is, you know what I think is the selling point for this movie for the kids? And it's not Steve Carell or the plot or anything like that. It's those little yellow bastards that don't speak anything. They just, they just make funny noises and do cutesy little things. I really think that's what sells this whole movie.
Well, if you think they sell the movie, then you should know that they are planning on making a movie with just the Minions, named Minions. Yep.
Without a doubt, that's probably going to do pretty fucking good. Well, I mean, they don't even need to have a plot with it. Literally, kids would want to go see a movie where it's just like, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop. I don't really know what they do. All I've seen is the trailers 800 times. I do have to hand Despicable Me 2, though. This is one of those movies that the parents kind of want to take their kids to see, though. The kids want to see it for the dumb little yellow people, but the parents want to see it because it's, from what I've seen and from what I hear, it's actually a pretty fun comedy, children's comedy. So, I do get why it's making so much money, unlike Turbo, where even parents are looking at that like, yeah, Junior, how about you go see Despicable Me 2 again, because who the fuck cares about what Turbo's doing?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather see Despicable Me 2 than Turbo, to be honest.
Some guy had a gun to my head, said, Brian, choose one! I'm like, dude, you don't need to have a gun to my head, you just gotta make sure I'm not, you don't have, a 20-year-old bearded fellow going up to see a kid's movie in broad daylight, You
be sitting in that theater, you turn your head, you just see me there with popcorn, it's like, Nick, are you being held hostage too?
I know, exactly.
Yes.
We're both trying to hide with our trench coats on, sunglasses, eating popcorn. Nick, is that you? No. Our fake mustaches. Oh, I still wish I had that, the mustache with the fake nose and glasses. Those things broke on me, and goddamn, that'd be so awesome. I think I would, just as a joke, just go get the ticket. I mean, I'd still see the movie, so it wouldn't be that big of a joke. But, just to fuck with the ticket holder, just go up there with, the fake glasses and nose and mustache and just, one for Despicable Me 2. Yes.
You just gotta go up to the next freaking, if they ever do a Pokemon movie again, just go to some kid, in front of his parents and just go, I choose you.
Oh, God. So, kids, you like the Pokemon? I got them.
You like them Pokeballs?
You got the Pokeballs? Hey, don't worry, man. I play professionally. I actually went into one of those stores. I found one of those card playing stores where, it was, I was looking for Warhammer stuff, and it is kind of sad. The moment when I walk in a building and I'm automatically the coolest guy there, and I'm trying to buy little figures, and I'm cooler than all those fuckers. I walk in there's a bunch of overweight to really just nerdy guys playing Magic. And, there's a lot of them, and the whole time I'm just sitting there thinking, first of all, do you guys pay to be here? And second of all, why do you guys have to come here to play? I mean, unless you're playing with complete strangers. I don't know. I know I try to talk all cool that me, Walter, and Dustin. Dustin comes up to me and says, "Hey, I found this thing online where you can play Dungeons and Dragons. It's just like it's not like a game. It's like the actual Dungeons and Dragons game." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down to play it. I mean, I don't have to be in public, and all I can do is just play."
That's a key word. Don't have to be in public.
Yeah. Well, at my work, we have a bunch of people who play. We have a bunch of people play Magic in public at work. Like, there's like a group of 5 of them. And I was telling one guy, I was like, "You know what we're gonna do one day?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "We're gonna play Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna show these fuckers what nerds can be."
Well, one thing. I remember back in high school. I'm not sure if they still have them around the time we were seniors, but in the cafeteria you had the people who play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot.
I know. Honestly, I've never been the biggest card person. I don't know about you. I never liked playing cards. I always thought it was stupid. Like, not poker or something like that. No, I meant like, playing cards, like, that. The only one I'd probably consider if someone made me.
Your dad needs our help.
I would,
Stay down.
hold on. Yeah, I've never been into the whole playing cards and all that. I don't know. The Magic one seems like it'd be something I might try, but not in this lifetime.
I think they had a game for it. I remember having played the game. It was so long ago I can't really remember, but I played, when I was a lot younger. I don't play it now, but, Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Masters or something like that. I had the Pokemon cards, but I never, really knew how to play them. So all that fun shit, but yeah.
Alright, number 2, because we got way off track with talking about card playing, but anyways, yeah, number 2, The Conjuring, which is doing amazing. Like, just, wow. That's the movie I thought was going to be down there with R.I.P.D., and yet, actually, out of the movies it came out with that week, it's the only one left in the top 5. Yeah, it's doing 83.9 million. Wow, I don't know. I'm just amazed. I'm really quite amazed by this. It's the only horror movie out, but like I was saying last week, I didn't think anyone wanted to see a horror movie in July.
Yeah, but especially if a good thing about it. I've heard that it was kind of falls into some of the same horror tropes we always get, but it is effective.
Yeah. Well,
so
you know what? It looks like I am one of those guys where I don't get scared over like, oh, look at that thing in the background or anything like that. The only thing that ever makes me jump are the jump scares, because sometimes like if they do them right, they can get me. Where they're just like if they just go like, bah, they're not choreographed. They're not choreographed type thing where you're like looking at them, you're like, okay, is in 3, 2, 1, that type of thing, So with it being I don't know, that's the only thing that ever makes me jump, but this movie would be something I'd check out like on DVD. I don't know, I wouldn't pay. I have a hard time. You have a hard time convincing me to go to the theater with a horror film. It's really hard because the whole point of horror films is to scare you, correct, Nick?
Yes. I believe so.
Quite Webster dictionary if it's a horror film. But anyways, it's impossible for me to get scared in a theater. It's impossible. The only way for me to get actually truly scared, and this happened with Sinister. I did get a little freaked out. Like, I didn't hide underneath the covers, but I did get freaked out. It's because I watched it alone in the dark. And then that allows my mind to really just be like, spooky,
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm one of the guys that I remember even during the Grey, we had a friend who jumped at a certain scene, but it was just kind of like, I'm the same way. I don't really jump in the theaters. I don't really jump at all, really. But you put me in a room alone like that in the dark, and that movie would fuck with me. The other night I was walking downstairs. And, for some reason, like all the lights were turned off. Like usually we have one light, just to have it on so we could see where we're going. And I was walking down my stairs and I turned, saw my eyes just created some like little red light, like a laser pointer. And it's something I thought was shit. Someone's in my house. She has a gun. There's a laser pointer. So I fucking dove from my kitchen turn on the light. No one's there, of course. It's just my mind fucking with me.
Nick, what kind of life are you living where you're like, there's a laser, oh god, a sniper!
That's just, well, I mean, it's one of those things where and I'm not going to go into it, but it's like, yeah, my mind, psychology-wise, it's on a different plane.
I really wish someone would have walked in
survival.
On the ground. Get down! What are you doing? There's a sniper! It's the light from the security system. It's bouncing out the window. Oh.
Well, yeah, sometimes, I'll just walk out through my house in the dark and, not even give a shit. It's like, yeah, that's right, bitch, it's my house. I am the night.
Merely adapt to the darkness.
Pretty much. But, if I see a movie or something, like, generally I'll watch something with my older brother where we'll go get snacks from the store, come back, watch a movie, and it's like, yeah, after seeing one of those, screw that. I'll just be moving slowly, make sure my back's against the wall, sneak around, do. Doing
Scooby style where you're just like, zoinks! See, my mind will only fuck with me occasionally, like, if I'm walking down a dark hallway after seeing something, then all of a sudden I'm just like, well, I better turn on a light. But that's about as far as it goes. Let's get into number 1, which we kind of already talked about, was the Wolverine! Wolverines! No. Yeah, for those people who don't know, it is based off that short comic little arc where, Wolverine goes to Japan and then he has to be, he gets like basically he has to fight on the Yakuza, and that's where he meets the Silver Samurai, which, if I remember correctly, the Silver Samurai himself was a mutant and not a giant robot, correct?
I haven't really read this story. I mean, I've seen the animated version. I mean, it was a kid's cartoon. But from there, I think he was a mutant. He could charge his sword up to cut through anything, so I imagine it was probably him, not the sword, so yeah, I believe he was a mutant.
I believe so too. Then again, we don't know if he's not a mutant in that. Maybe he just wears that big suit of armor that's a robot or something. I don't know. Honestly, we don't know, but unless that armor is made of adamantium, then Wolverine should have no problem. There's always one thing, though, that makes me think, that kind of makes me laugh, and they're like, in the trailer they're talking about Wolverine, we're going to take away your ability to heal. And he's still using his claws. I was like,
Yeah, they obviously didn't do the math when it came to, this guy has claws.
I know, he's just shink, oh god, this hurts so badly. Oh, there's some, Nick was telling me about some comic that makes that joke where, like, it's like a dorkly comic or something, where they're sitting there saying, like, you can have, like, if you, like, they say you want superpowers, you can have one superpower. He's like, I want the powers of Wolverine. Well, you can have one or the other. You can either have the, claws or the healing factor. Oh, claws, definitely. And he, uses the claws and, oh god! Ah!
There's blood everywhere!
Which is always something I laugh whenever you see okay, so I accept the claws come out of his hand, but that you're still a bunch of blood. But those claws would not be shiny clean. I'm sorry. I mean, just saying, just chink.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I mean, he's even stated beforehand, he's like, I can't remember which X-Men movie it was, but like, does it hurt? And it's like, yeah, it hurts every time, because it still cuts him, so it's like, shit. Fuck
I
that.
want to see the horrible version of Wolverine when he just turns into some masochist where he just likes getting hurt. He's like, shoot me! Oh, yeah! Oh.
It's probably out there
God,
somewhere.
No, not Rule 34 or something. So we got some interesting news in today, though. First of all, let's go with the quick, easy topic. John Williams coming back for episode 7. He's going to do the score for it. And they also have some casting rumors that maybe Zac Efron or Ryan Gosling may be part of the new movie. All I can say is Ryan Gosling, yes. Zac Efron, no. You have done nothing. You have done nothing to deserve that right.
Yes, but I mean, even right now, there's still.
Oh yeah, no,
rumors,
that's why I wasn't really gonna, because they had a whole other news story about those two, and like, well, that's not really news. I mean, that's just the rumors. Rumors don't count as news. But yeah, John Williams is coming back as the composer, which is great because that means we're gonna get the same type of music, which I'm like, yay! I love that type of music.
Yeah. I mean, because I know they're gonna have Ryan. Well, they're not sure what. Well, again, yeah, these are rumors, but they're thinking Ryan Gosling would play Luke's son because the movie's going to be taking place 30 years after the Return of the Jedi, and so I'm not sure who exactly Zac Efron would be playing.
Maybe Leia's
maybe
son,
Han Solo's son. Or,
we honestly, I don't know. I don't really know what kind of story arc they're going with. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Honestly, I don't know who would be the villain either. Like, the Sith are done. Empire destroy. I don't know. I mean,
as long as Zac Efron shoots first.
Yeah. No, I want to see them bring like Greedo's son in, and then just have like have Harrison Ford back, and he just shoots him immediately. But like, I shot first. They're like, yes. The better one is I know it's the better news story. The writer for Deus Ex, C. Robert Cargill, is talking about how basically, because everyone's, if you don't know this, of course a lot of people don't know, he wrote Sinister, and he's also going to be writing the Deus Ex video game movie, and they're kind of in talks about like, well, okay, how are you going to do it so it doesn't suck like every other video game movie out there, like of all time. And first of all, he's saying that Eidos Montreal, which is the makers of the Deus Ex series, they're telling them Hollywood that they want it to be a lot like Blade Runner, which, if you think about it, Deus Ex is basically Blade Runner the game, so, shouldn't be that hard. Cargill says that he kind of wants it to be a lot like, Mortal Kombat, the movie.
Well, we all love those movies. We all know it.
In a different way, though. Basically, he wants it to seem like a video game. And the best way for me to explain this is basically how the news article explains this. Like, in the game, you have boss fights that kind of just come out of nowhere. Like, he'll walk in a room and, oh, there's a boss. From what I'm getting at, that's kind of how the movie's going to be. Where it's going to seem like it's a live-action video game, almost. Where, Adam Jensen walks in a room and, oh, I got to fight this big guy. And, it's probably, I doubt they're going to have like, oh, here's his health bar. But, they're going to want it to play or to seem like it's, I don't know. This is kind of up in the air because it's going to be quite interesting to see if they go through that, how it'll be, not a steaming, how it's going to adapt a film, that type of movie playing. I don't know. What do you think on it?
Well, I mean, I'd say it's probably different. It was going to be a different take on how we usually see these movies, and I mean, I'm kind of, I'm excited to see what they do with it. But I haven't played the game. I've heard great things about it. I've seen some gameplay, but I'm ready. Let's see what they could do. See if this might be the first one that could actually be a good video game movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting take, and at least trying something different. Because they've tried the Resident Evil tactic where they just use the same universe. Didn't work. They try adapting it like completely, like, what's that? Trying to think of one that adapts it basically note for note almost. Well, Mortal Kombat adapts it basically note for note. I mean, a lot of people say it's one of the good ones. I don't really like Mortal Kombat at all. So, yeah. Do you like any video game movie? Just real quick.
Not really I could think of. I mean, Resident Evil movies, as much as I'm not a fan of it, it's just, meh. I mean, I'll watch them. They're kind of entertaining to me, but I'm not like, it's nothing I was going to run out to see. The Mortal Kombat movies, when I was a kid, sure I liked them, but nowadays it's not really a thing that would apply to me. So.
I don't know. You're probably more excited for that World of Warcraft movie. No, damn it! I brought it up again. No, I like C. Robert Cargill. I like the way how he works. I like the things he does. So it's going to be interesting to see basically what happens, how this turns out, because it's promising. Let's put it that way. It's probably one of the most promising video game movies out there. You got any news? Anything like that? Awesome,
yes, I
awesome.
do.
I'm glad you do. I was about to say, oh shit, we're only half hour in and I'm kind of out of shit. Alright, go.
But, basically, since we talked about the Wolverine, kind of, the director is planning on having a unrated version. So prepare for more violence.
So there's going to be a blood version?
Pretty much. I mean, let's see. Let me scroll down here because there's a lot of crap I don't want to go. He said, quoting, obviously when you have to get to length there was a lot of extra things that you weren't able to see, especially because he was actually, the director, James, I'm not sure how you pronounce his last name, just says Mangold. So I'm not sure.
Sounds like a Bond villain. No, it's Mangold.
What he was saying, he was actually kind of weird that the PG-13 rating didn't devastate, which, like it's, to me, I mean, I don't think it was anything different. I mean, all the X-Men from what I'm aware of were PG-13.
Well, basically most comic book movies, except for, like, Blade, or PG-13.
I mean, even for me, I mean, this is something that, hell, I would see. I mean, because, I don't know about you, but, I mean, I'm not like such a super fan of Wolverine, but, of course, like anyone, he's your favorite X-Man.
I wouldn't say he's my favorite, but he's a good X-Men and he's a good story. I do think it's pretty funny when you have a guy who's hacking people up with metal claws that no blood at all.
Exactly, and that's that's the one thing that, most people want to see. It's just, not to turn into more of a sociopath, but basically, Wolverine, he's not exactly I'm gonna freeze someone up and that's the end of it. When your superpowers are razor sharp claws and, healing factors, and especially in the movie, there are those fight scenes that are just, where he's just hacking people up like crazy, but, of course, because it's PG-13, you're not gonna have a lot of blood. Yeah. And I'd love to see a new, just unrated version of him, because, he really is just that kind of animal.
Yeah, I agree. I would love to, because like you were saying, he is an animal, and actually that Wolverine Origins video game pretty much captured him pretty well, where, he could just run up to a guy shooting a machine gun and just, like, cut off his head, or, be violent. He's not the hero where he's like Spider-Man, like, no killing. No, he's like the Punisher almost, where he's like, I'll kill everybody.
That's actually kind of funny, because I remember seeing this clip from a TV show where Spider-Man was getting attacked by some dinosaurs. I'm not sure why they were there, but Wolverine comes up and he just kills them all. And Spider-Man's like, whoa, like, dude, you just wiped out the dinosaurs again. And so it was like, shit. I mean, that really it is kind of Wolverine. He just doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he's really just like kind of, I don't want to say he's the muscle of X-Men, but he's the guy he's willing to get his hands dirty.
He's the brooding badass of the X-Men. Like, you got Scott Summers, who actually, from what I'm told by Nick, he's currently a villain, but usually, Cyclops is the goody, and then you got, like, then you have the women that are part of it, like, you kind of have Storm, which she's kind of the co-leader of the X-Men, and, well, I'm not going to list every single X-Men and be like, and then he's like, well, you get the idea, though. He's kind of, he's more of the, I'm not really a leader, but I'm kind of a brooding badass. Which I think is always hilarious, though, on how every adaptation of Wolverine I've seen always has a raspy voice, except the what's his face? Oh, who the fuck's Wolverine right now? Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman, who goes like a normal American voice. No rasp to it. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to talk American even though I'm Australian. I think he should have kept his Australian voice and just been like, yeah, Wolverine's he's an Aussie.
Want to hold this tanker?
Wolverine meets Mad Max.
But especially because, I mean, I've seen I haven't read a lot of Wolverine stuff, but, I remember seeing some of the covers. I mean, there was one cover where he was just sitting there, beer in one hand, just a bunch of bullet holes in him and around him, just shit, and just blood coming out of it, and, I mean, he's a real freaking gruesome guy, and so with this new unrated version, I mean, I'm ready to see what I'd like to call somewhat the true version of him. Although, of course, I will be probably seeing this how it is now and still end up loving it probably.
You're going to start, goddamn, you're going to start giving everyone, and you're him, and oh, I remember that shit. What was it? I was going to say something about, oh yeah, my favorite Wolverine thing though has to be when he fought the Hulk. Because, got two people who are essentially cannot be killed fighting each other. And the Hulk ends up ripping in half, and, Wolverine still doesn't die. But neither one of them can be killed, and I think that's just a great type of thing. I don't know, I always like those type of fights where, you got two of these things that can't, the two immortals, essentially, who can't be killed, fighting it to the quote-unquote death. So I always thought that was awesome. But...
And, I mean, that just kind of shows how badass Wolverine, especially when, I mean, if you've ever seen the animated movie, not only the Wolverine versus Hulk, but the Thor versus Hulk, and Thor gets his ass handed to him eventually,
gets beaten.
Wolverine. Yeah, pretty much, and Wolverine just, he keeps going at it.
Yeah. You heard it here, folks. Nicky G thinks Wolverine is better than Thor.
I do. Come at me, bros.
I don't know who outside I'm going to take in that fight. Wolverine, Thor? I like Captain America. What other news you got here?
Let's see. Oh, I know you're going to love this, although I'm not sure how you felt about the first movie, but apparently, for some reason, the Butterfly Effect is getting a reboot.
I don't understand why. Okay, this is what I'm getting sick and tired of this, Nick. Okay, I understand 80s, 70s, 60s movies. Reboot them. Why not? For a new generation. But the Butterfly Effect came out in like the 2000s. There's nothing. Don't reboot something that's been out. It's like when they rebooted Spider-Man. I mean, sure, I like the newer Spider-Man more, but it was like the old Spider-Man wasn't even 10 years ago. You already I just don't understand why Hollywood has to reboot shit. Just come up with a new idea. Don't reboot a shitty... No one liked the Butterfly Effect. I didn't anyways, so no one likes it, clearly. The Butterfly Effect was a shitty movie. It really was terrible. And Ashton Kutcher, I'm sorry, dude, you're not an actor. You never were good. I don't like that 70s show. I thought that show was sucked. I don't like any other crap he's in that. Yeah.
That's blasphemy.
I know, I try to troll some people when they're like, that show is so awesome. I was like, yeah, no, that show can suck my dick. I really didn't like it though. I'm being honest. I thought that 70s show was fucking awful. But then again, I don't get why anyone likes it. I really don't understand it. It's really not that funny. But anyways, I'm getting on some weird thing about hating that. So, Ashton Kutcher was a shitty actor, and just the storyline had potential. So unless they reboot it with the full potential of that storyline where a guy just can read his past and change it and end up making one of those dark movies again, I don't know, maybe it was just the actor he was such a shitty actor, kind of ruined the whole plot. I don't know, did you like the Butterfly Effect?
I thought it was alright. I mean, I don't have the same venom against Ashton Kutcher. I mean, nowadays I'm kind of just, roll my eyes when I see him, but, it's kind of like, it was fine to me. I mean, especially, it was just a story that really got to me more than, the acting. But I mean, this one apparently it's going to be the same company who's, making Meet, or the Millers. Say Meet the Millers. So I'm not sure how much hope that's given me exactly there.
I don't know. I'm sick of Hollywood sometimes with their shit. Like, they'll make amazing movies, like, I like District 9 and stuff like that, where it's original ideas with great sci-fi, great storyline, everything. It's just amazing. And then they make something like like Grown Ups 2, where it's just like what's the point of seeing this, guys? I don't know. I heard some very smart person who, our person we just got done talking about, Cargill. It was something I saw him talking about and saying, and I probably believe it, where he says Hollywood has a bunch of original ideas, but audiences only want to see remakes because that's what they're familiar with. They're more willing. There's more money in the remake than there is an original idea, and I'm just like, Hollywood, you have enough money. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do remakes. You have enough money where you can just be like, here's Elysium, that badass looking movie. And you know what? People are gonna like it. If you don't like that if you don't like original ideas and you like seeing the same shit over and over, then you're part of the problem. And shame on you.
Especially because all these new ideas could be rebooted. It's like, God damn
can't wait for the reboot of District 9 and Cloverfield. Yay!
Were they making a Cloverfield 2?
I don't know.
I've heard rumors they were making a sequel, but
I don't know. I heard talks on if they made a sequel, what would they want? And if they made a sequel, all I can ask is they cannot do what they did before with a found footage shaky cam thing. They couldn't do that. They'd have to make it just a monster film, which, as we've been proven with Pacific Rim, people apparently just don't give a fuck about monster films. And I'm just like, that's disappointing. Nikki G, got any other news? Awesome.
Yes.
I'm glad you had news as well, because it's like, we're gonna have to cut off short or something, or...
It was funny, you took two of them, which were the, Ryan Gosling, Zac Efron, and, John Williams, and I was like, thank God I went for more. But, James McAvoy is being cast as, Victor von Frankenstein in the new, what do you know, reboot of Frankenstein.
Well, that is understandable, because if you can name the last Frankenstein movie we had...
I think the one where he paired up with, Wolverine.
You mean Van Helsing?
Yep.
Nick, you tried to correct me the whole time. No, I think it was Wolverine.
I'm pretty sure, because if you remember, he did cut off Mr. Hyde's hand or arm.
With his claws, right? No, which, honestly, he could have been Van Helsing just for the sole fact of, Wolverine has been around since, like, the 1600s.
I mean, and then from what I hear, Daniel Radcliffe is also playing Igor in this movie as well, so...
Who is that?
Harry Potter.
Good God, really him? I'm just, nothing against him personally. It's just like that's the last casting choice I would make for the deformed hunchback known as Igor.
Well, he is like 5'2". I mean, not that we're the tallest people in the freaking block, but yeah.
I know you and me, the shortest people on our podcast. We can always lie. No one knows what anybody else looks like. We're actually 6'3", and Dustin is 5'1". So, yeah, that's cool. Oh, if they go with the good story of Frankenstein, where he's actually intelligent and kind of superhuman, and not, he's just he's not some hulking retard. That'd be something I'd like to see. I don't know. What do you think about this?
I mean, I'm up for. I mean, the same director who directed Push. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that movie, but I'm pretty sure he's the one directing this so far. I mean, I like both these actors. I mean, I'm kind of glad to see Daniel Radcliffe doing something different.
You know what everyone's going to be saying? What the hell happened to Harry Potter? There's going to be dumbasses like that. Hey, when did Harry Potter turn all nasty looking? And since it's when did Professor Xavier all Frankenstein-y? No, wait, he's playing Dr. Frankenstein, correct? Okay, he's not playing the Frankenstein monster, which is I don't know. Did they ever give that thing a name besides Frankenstein monster?
No, I mean, generally they call it the monster. You know, you get those freaking people who have to be, smart ass. No, actually, the name was the monster. Frankenstein was the creator.
That's why. Oh my! I know. I trust me. We know one of those people, Nick, and he sometimes annoys me when I'm just like, oh yeah, but then Frankenstein. You mean the Frankenstein monster? Like, oh, I think I mean fuck you. That's what I meant. I forgot the fuck you monster. It was fucking you and fuck you. That's what I thought I said. Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same fuck you page. Oh, whoops, let's just keep fuck you slipping out. Oh crap. Slow day though. Slow day. Jesus, Nick. Yeah. Any other news before we get into our closing statements?
Have you seen the new trailer for The Walking Dead? I mean, this is TV, but
yeah, it's fine. We can talk about TV. And no, I haven't. I haven't seen season 3 yet. And believe me, some people who have seen season 3, I want to just punch in the face. One being Nick, where sometimes he almost spoils shit for me because he wants to talk about it so badly, and he just wants to spill his guts. He just, and then Merle's brother comes back, oh my god, or Merle comes back, and he's a badass, and I was like, just shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if I ever miss an episode, which is rarely, I have to stay off the internet because,
Oh god.
Fuck it, because that's just going to be freaking the end of it for me there.
That's what I like about the summer, where I don't have to worry about spoilers in any show. Like, I still have to see season 3 of Game of Thrones, and season 3 of Walking Dead, and then, well, oddly enough, I'm really into Spartacus right now, and no one talks about Spartacus. I'm like, that's a really good show, though. Why is no one talking about it? I like it.
But, I mean, the new trailer, it looks... I think it looks great.
Yeah, I kind of don't want you to go into detail because it might be spoiling shit that happened in season 3.
Don't worry, I won't. But I'm just gonna say it looks good. Like, my thing about season 3 is I've had my problems, but I mean, I thought season 3 was still good.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the new trailer, it looks like they're really amping it up. So
Nick,
I'm excited for that.
I just have this horrible thought of people going into our comments section, because of course I'm going to see it, and just be like, this happens in season 3, and this, oh no! Honestly, this show I kind of wish I could get into and still can't. Breaking Bad. I've tried, and it's not like, and I'm not saying it's a bad show at all, it's just something where it doesn't compel to me. It's not something, I don't know, seeing a guy who makes drugs or something, or any of that sort, I don't really care. It's that kind of that mentality where I just don't give a shit. Like, I don't know. I'm more into my fantasy and, shit that can't actually happen, like zombies and fantasy and, I guess Gladiators really did, but stuff about those are the shows I like. When it's just like, well, this guy's, he's basically a mobster. I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. It's like me watching Mad Men. I'm not saying that's a bad show either. It's just something I don't give a shit about.
Yeah, I'm not really into Mad Men. I mean, I guess all those DARE and PCAs worked on you.
Do what?
To not do drugs,
yeah.
or to care about drugs. Which apparently actually puts kids more on, well, not puts, but I can't even say influences, but apparently more kids end up doing drugs who have done the program, so it's like, shit.
It's kind of, it informs them about it. They're like, wait, that's what drugs are? Awesome!
But, and yes, people, we are anti-drugs here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We're not.
What? Yeah.
Brennan!
Shut up! It was buy one, get one free. What?
But, I mean, even Breaking Bad is something that, I want to try to get into it. But, I mean, I'm probably going to end up, trying to watch as much as I can on Netflix. And even now, they only have, 5 episodes left?
Yeah, to my knowledge, they're wrapping it up. And it's still, I know, Nick is a big fan of it, and Dustin's a big fan, and I watched all of season 1, and I started watching season 2, and I'm just like, it's good, but there's nothing makes me want to come back to this. Nothing's making me want to be, oh, God, I gotta keep watching. No, it's more or less like, okay, that was good. I'm gonna go do something else now. And that's what Breaking Bad is kind of to me. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, folks. I gotta cut it short because I have family doing shit. So,
they're just knocking at his door like zombies.
Come outside. No,
one of us.
Exactly.
One of us.
Basically, no, seriously. So that's it, everybody. I have family get together I have to go to. So, just like us on Facebook. Today's show, it was a little bit slower and all that, and I apologize, but whatever. Subscribe to us, and just visit our site to comment on, at bloodyscreen.weebly.com. This show will be, sadly, I know this show would be posted up about the same time. So, that's it, everything. You want any closing remarks there, Nick?
Well, I should probably get some sleep because now my eyes are bleeding.
Alright, his eyes are bleeding, folks. Send your money to... Alright, good night, everybody.